Should come as no surprise that people appear physically sadder at the height of winter than at any other time of the year. There is visibly less daylight, fewer opportunities to spend outdoors, and a general sense of dreariness among people. Snow is beautiful, sure, but the cleanup can lead to injuries that increase our frustration with winter. I've been there many times before. I live on Long Island, New York, where we recently had a record blizzard that buried us. I fell victim to the injury and the bleakness that winter can dole out. Yet I found myself reflecting on what a beautiful metaphor for life I was handed because of my mishap. Today, I'd like to share what I surmised with you. Hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the roving educator of this and that. Together, we will explore an array of topics from history and geography to sports and cultural phenomena. No topic is too mundane or too dull to broaden our horizons. A former educator, I seek to share my expertise on a wide expanse of knowledge with those curious enough to seek new knowledge, to seek new understanding, or who wish to gain a little insight into the world in which we live. I yearn to create an online community of other eager enthusiasts wishing to explore from the comfort of their home. This will be my first, but certainly not my last video, so if you're fascinated by what I have to share with you today and want to see more, click that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share the video so others can find this channel as well. Winter 2025-2026 has been one of the coldest, snowiest, challenging winters on record, especially for the Northeast. When I was younger, I loved the snow because large amounts of snowfall meant days off of school, spending extra time watching cartoons or playing games, or enjoying one of my guilty pleasures, hot chocolate. I always loved watching the snow fall from the window as I sipped my hot chocolate, as gentle music played behind me. There was always something peaceful about it. It was not until I grew older that I began to dislike winter's brute strength. As my mother aged, I became responsible for clearing the snow. There were many instances when I was annoyed because I did not relish the idea of going into the frigid winter air to perform the back-breaking work of shoveling the snow, especially when I saw how quickly my neighbors cleared their properties with snowblowers. We could not afford such a machine, so it was the hard way for me. Unfortunately, I did eventually hurt my back, and shoveling became more of an arduous task than a necessary chore. My inability to clear the snow as I had once been able to led to a growing sense of despair, ultimately leading to my clinical depression. The unseen illness is one of the most traumatic diagnoses an individual can possibly have. I felt paralyzed just thinking about getting basic things done, not from want to actually do them, but from the thought that I would not be able to do them as I had once been able to. I felt inadequate, despondent, unmotivated. Why should I start a task or chore if I would not be satisfied with the end result? I was limited physically and would need to depend on others. This reality made me feel less of a person. However, I sought medical intervention and I received it. Thanks to treatment and a wonderful core of very close friends, I bounced back, though I still feel depressed when faced with certain tasks like clearing away 2 feet of snow, for instance. The recent blizzard that pummeled New York and the Northeast led me to ask 2 questions. When did humanity first recognize that depression is an illness and not an excuse for laziness? And is there any lesson that I have learned during my experiences living with depression that I can possibly impart on others? As it turns out, The history of the clinical study of depression is quite fascinating. According to verywellmind.com, there are records dating back to ancient Mesopotamia in the second millennium BCE that make references to what we recognize today as depression, though they did not have a name for it. Instead, they felt that the condition was of a spiritual nature, like a demonic possession. Even the scholars of the era, such as Hippocrates in 4th to 5th century Greece BCE, felt it was less of a physical condition and more of a misbalance of the humors, or those traits that comprised a person's holistic self. The father of medicine described the condition we call depression as melancholia, a disruption of the balance of the four humors: yellow bile, black bile, phlegm, and blood. The great Roman statesman Cicero felt that the melancholia was a result of a psychological cause, though he did not name it as such, resulting from rage, grief, or fear. In other words, raw emotions led to melancholia. This thinking prevailed until the 18th century for the most part, when it began to be viewed as less of a flaw in the balance of a person's traits and more as lapsing into delusion or insanity, because it was believed that it was abnormal to be full of despair and distrust all of the time. This thinking was radically changed in the 20th century when Sigmund Freud suggested there were circumstances and their effects of a person's mind that created the condition, and say that depression was one of those medical conditions that never truly had been discovered, but rather was arrived at after a series of observations and a deeper understanding of the human condition. Consequently, beginning in the early 1950s, the medical community began releasing the DSM, or Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, known as 5th edition. Depression, along with its various subtypes like bipolar disorder and clinical depression, are listed along with their causes, symptoms, and possible treatment options. This manual was a breakthrough in the treatment of mental illnesses that affect millions of people in the United States and abroad. In addition, many resources have been made available to assist in treating these conditions, including omh.ny.gov for New York State at no cost, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline, and the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, whose website is findtreatment.gov. They can be reached at 1-800-662-HELP, that is 1-800-662-4357, or at 1-800-985-5990. All these organizations are available 24/7, so please reach out to them if you are in distress or in need of someone to talk to. I'm going to link these resources in the description. If you would like me to present a deeper dive into the history of the study of depression or any disorder listed in the DSM, or the various resources available for their treatment, please like this video, subscribe, and comment below. If this video receives 1,000 likes, I'll do a deeper dive on the topic. Now that we have briefly looked at the background to the study of depression, I wanted to provide you with what lesson I've recently learned. Feel free to take it with you. A few days before the blizzard, my spouse went outside to bring the garbage bin to the curb before the sanitation crew arrived to pick it up, but it had been icy the night before. Consequently, my spouse fell. I witnessed this from the bedroom window. I saw the struggle to get up and witnessed the sanitation worker rushing carefully to grab the bin from my spouse's hands to take to the truck. The worker refused to let my spouse bring it to him. Instead, he helped my spouse off the ice, went to the truck with the bin, and brought the bin back after emptying it. As I witnessed the scene unfold, I came to the realization that when we fall down in life, we can either stay down or fight to get back up. If we cannot get up on our own, there will always be someone near us who can help us. With their help, we can get back up. We can reach a safe place in our lives, and we can make the pain we felt when we were down a healthy part of ourselves. The pain will always be there, dimming over time, and it will be a reminder of the past, but it will not define who we are. It will not limit us, because we can heal from it, however slowly. We are more than our fall. We are our rising. We are our healing. We are strong. The ice that trips us melts away in time and is replaced with sturdy ground on which we can walk to a better place. I am a depression sufferer, but I have come a long way on the road to recording my first YouTube video, and it was not easy. I had my bumps and my pains, but they have not defined me. They have taught me that my life is what I make of it, and that is my message to you today. Your life is what you make of it. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Please like and subscribe before you go. And until next time, I am the roving educator of this and that.